Hello, I'm R.J. Gore, professor of systematic theology at Erskine Theological Seminary, and today we're talking about the significance of the death of Christ, part 2, as a second angle of vision. You have to remember something. In the Old Testament, much of worship in the sacrificial system was designed for one purpose and one purpose only. In the garden, the fellowship that God had with his creatures, Adam and Eve, it was broken. And so all of the Old Testament rituals, sacrifice, and priestly worship, all that was designed to bring us back into the presence of God. You couldn't just walk into the tabernacle or the temple. You had to go through a priest. And the Day of Atonement, you had to go through the high priest. And the high priest on the Day of Atonement would go out of the holy place into the most holy place. Now, the most holy place was separated from the rest of the worship area by embroidered blue curtains with embroidered cherubim. In other words, angels, gold filigree. And this was designed to separate so that people understood you don't just go past this. Those angels were there to guard the holy place, the most holy place where God was. And in that most holy place, there was the Ark of the Covenant, a box that was covered in gold with two angelic beings with wings that stretched out. And the idea is that in the midst of that, in that place of absence, that is where the unseen God appears. And that is also what's known as the mercy seat, where blood is poured out on the Day of Atonement. Now, here's the thing that's important. In the Old Testament understanding of these things, all of this was designed to keep you out of the presence of God and to remind you that you can't come into the presence of God apart from a sacrifice, apart from a blood sacrifice. And so there's this fascinating thing that happens in Matthew 27:50. In Matthew 27:50, we read, "And Jesus cried out again with a loud voice and yielded up his spirit." Now, what did he say? This may very well be that place where he says it is finished. And that is captured in John 19, verse 30. Jesus says, "It is finished." So that cry may very well have been that. Now, what was finished? Well, hang on and you'll see. Because in Matthew 27:51, we read this, "And the curtain of the temple was torn in two from top to bottom, and the earth shook." This blue curtain with all these beautiful angelic beings on it to keep us from the presence of God, the hand of God, the unseen hand of God, took from the top to the bottom, ripped it open, and at that point, something that only had been seen by the high priest only on the Day of Atonement, now the most holy place is wide open and revealed to all. So, you see, what had happened here is this. What had only been accessed on the Day of Atonement by the high priest now is open to all the people of God. All men and women of all ages, of all parts of the earth, in all times, now can have immediate access into the presence of God. So when you ask yourself, what is the significance of the death of Christ? The answer is this. The separation brought about by the first Adam, being banned from the garden by the cherubim with the flaming fire, that's all been reversed. The cherubim have been torn down. The temple has now been laid open. And now in the New Testament era, because of the death of Christ, we have access immediately to the presence of God. This is the significance of the death of Christ.